Was the turkey guy a troll in the locals call-in? No, with the turkey thing. Alyssa clipped that from my locals channel. And one of the annoyances is because I use the same background on locals that I do for everything else. It kind of looks like it came from the normal stream, but it was part of the locals call-in stream. No, I did not coordinate a discussion with a turkey about anything. It's really fucking weird that people would do that, because the stuff that the person brought up about are things that I'm generally just letting go, not talking about, because there's no purpose in trying to fight internet rumor and speculation. You will do what you will do, and people will do whatever they do with it. And you can sit and try to convince people that it's something or another thing, but people will just make up their minds, and that's fine. So all of these things that were brought up were things that I have not specifically talked about, don't really care to talk about. There's no benefit in talking about them, but that person did. And I have no idea if that person was a friendly person or a non-friendly person, because it got, the questions were questions that I don't really feel like answering. There's no good answers on the internet for some people. The other thing about them is, like, he asked them in a way that was not like super aggressive, and he addressed my answers in a way that was not super aggressive. So I don't know. Maybe he was making fun of the allegations or whatever. I can't tell you. But the idea that I would avoid these sort of topics because I just don't feel like dwelling on them, but then collude with someone to specifically bring them up in the weirdest fucking way ever, that was rather uncomfortable on my call-in stream as the first caller, was not actually the plan. So I've never done that. There's no benefit to me doing that. I can't figure out what good thing would come from that at all. It's a weird accusation. But again, here's the thing with the internet. No matter what I say, people will forever say that I did this thing. Okay. I have no idea. Who said you're colluding? There are people in the chat who've been talking about it. There are people on various discussions that have said that. I don't know who it is. It doesn't matter, but it's been asked about. So, but negative, if you don't talk about it, means you're terrified of it, and thus it must be true. If you do talk about it, is because it's true and you're terrified of science. Look, the whole thing with the internet is this. And this is something that I admittedly navigated in a specific way that was very poor in the past. And there's a lot to discuss about that at some point, maybe. There is no way to address anything. There's like a rule on the internet of lean into the joke, which works up to an extent of how you lean into the joke. But if you lean into the joke, some people will not see it as leaning in. They'll see it as being overly defensive. They'll see it as admissions. They'll see whatever. And you cannot control people's reaction to anything. There is no way to specifically deal with an issue, because people, exactly, Schrodinger's chats says people will see what they want to see. Yes. And you cannot control it. Honestly, the best thing, my advice to any creator, is when some sort of thing comes up, no matter what it is, no matter how severe you think it is or don't think it is, the answer is not to lean in, and the answer is not to answer and deny. Now, these are general rules. Everyone will break them at some point. But let me just say it. I'll tell you, the actual correct answer is to just ignore any and every allegation of anything. Just ignore it. Don't respond to it. Don't engage it. Just move on and do your thing. Because if you get wrapped up in it and you're trying to address it either in a funny way or a serious way or whatever, you will not succeed. It is not possible to do so, because the nature of the internet and how people see things is some people will take your admission as true or false. They'll take your denial as true or false. You just you just need to move on. And that's something that I did not do very well over the past 6 months. I tried to play it a specific way of leaning into jokes, and then it got to be too serious. So, and then it just never goes away. It's something that as long as you are addressing the thing, it will always be stressful and lingering. There, again, no matter how much technique you're going to try and apply to it, there just isn't. And I admittedly thought that I could, expertly handle this crazy fucking shit that happened. And people who have known me for a really long time still think that, like, I just was not being truthful about stuff. And it's like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't know how to change that. And I can't keep trying. So that's what it is. I'm sure people will make a lot of this, but again, I'll say it. People will decide what they want, and I have no interest in changing their mind because there's no thing. We'll do it. Nothing will change that mind, and I got it. So whatever people allege has happened to me or that I've done or whatever will be as true as they want it to be forever. Can't keep focusing on it. It drives you fucking crazy. There's no way around it. So yeah, everyone will have to just make up their own minds, and that's cool. You can make up your mind about me. I'm a public person. You can say what you're going to say, and generally speaking, I've given people plenty of ways to criticize me, and that's fine. They're stupid enough to trust the internet rumor factory rather than the actual person they personally know. Fuck them. Like, look, here's the problem. Like, as much as I want to just automatically agree with you, it's very self-serving, but people lie, and lots of people on the internet lie, specifically content creators, right? They lie about themselves. And so people have a distrust of creators because we're financially incentivized to project an image. One thing I will say is I don't think I have projected like some super profitable image. Like, I try to be very, very honest about, things I've done, things that have happened to me in my life, because I think they're interesting for other people to deal with. Now, again, some people don't like the subject matter. Some people might think that those things reveal some sort of hypocrisy or whatever. And I mean, that's fine. Again, you get to form your own opinions, but just because someone might be self-interested doesn't mean they're lying. And I think if you take on balance, like the way I responded to stuff and the way I talked about stuff, I don't think it was like a brand management perfect issue. So, I mean, maybe I'm just bad at it, I guess, but it's weird that is like the accusation. So it's, I don't know. I can say this, the stuff that I've talked about, was done genuinely because I think I've been through some fun, wild, and very stressful and frustrating things altogether that could help a lot of people in a lot of situations with a different perspective. Sharing some of those things led people to conclusions that are not true. You can't do anything about that. So people made those conclusions because of what I shared. There's not really any going back on any of that. I don't intend to, but there's no use in continually addressing it. So, but yeah, as far as the turkey, no, I have zero interest in bringing up rumor topics to dispel them to a turkey. It's so fucking weird. And that was as uncomfortable and strange for everybody else as it was for me.